Hello, so we are back with our part 2 of chapter 10 changes around us. Now, in earlier part, we have seen what are the different changes that occur and what are the causes that leads to the change. Now, in this particular part, we are going to talk about different types of changes. Now, the first change that we are going to talk about is slow and fast change. Now, this is a very easy to understand change, that is whatever changes occur, they are either slow or fast. Now you could see the picture being shown in the slide. The one is a paper burning. Now, does a paper take a long time to burn? No, it does not take a long time to burn, and therefore it is a fast change that takes place. Whereas a seed takes a long time to germinate and grow into a big tree. So this change is known as a slow change. So all changes do not occur at the same pace or at the same time, we can say. Hair grows much faster than our body goes. Okay, it does. It takes a long time to make paper from wood pulp, while cutting or burning of paper hardly takes any time. So you see that some changes take a long time to occur, whereas other take place instantly. So changes which takes a long time to occur are called as slow changes. Like for example, germination of seed, growth of a baby, formation of soil from rocks. All these are slow changes. And changes that take place or take a short time to occur are called as fast changes. Like curdling of milk, breaking of glass, burning of a paper, boiling of water. All these are fast changes. Then the next kind of change you can see in the picture is natural and man-made changes. So some changes they occur on their own, while others are made to happen. So the changes which occur on their own are called as natural changes, where we do not have any control over these changes. So some changes like change of day and night, blowing of wind, flooding of rivers, earthquakes, cyclones, volcanic eruptions, growing of trees in forest, all these are natural changes where we do not play any role or they happen on their own. Okay, and the other changes like artificial or man-made changes are brought about by human activities. Like a tree is being fallen, that is deforestation, it occurs due to human interference. A room is lit by a bulb, when we turn a switch it will turn on, and when we turn it off it will be off. So these all are the changes where human plays a role. A car is made to move from one place to another. This is also again a man-made or artificial change. Now we'll move on to the next kind of change, that is desirable and undesirable change. Now though change is a law of nature, we have seen this earlier also in the introductory part. But not all changes are welcome, especially those brought about by floods, cyclones and earthquakes. All these are not welcomed by us because they harm human life, they harm the property, so it's not always been welcome. Similarly, in winter, if the sun does not shine for a day and it rains, it becomes very dull and uncomfortable for us. But in summer, if it is the rain which saves us from the scorching sun, so this change is a welcome change. So the changes that benefit us are called as desirable change, and the change that cause harm are called as undesirable change. Now here in the picture you can just distinguish between both of them, can see the difference, that the burning of wood in the fireplace is a desirable change, which benefits us, which protects us from the cool atmosphere outside. So we just prefer it during the winter season. Whereas on the other hand, in the picture you can see that the house on fire is an undesirable change. So in both the cases fire is playing a different role. Okay, in the first picture it is beneficial to us as it provides heat and warmth to us, but in the second picture it's harmful because the house has been burning. So this is known as a desirable and undesirable change. Then we'll move on to the next one, which is reversible and irreversible change. Now the name itself tells us about the change, that the change can be reversed means it can be brought back into the original one, and the other one is irreversible, where you cannot get the original substance back. Now for example, a wet handkerchief that has been dried under a fan can again be made wet. Yes, so this change is a reversible change, where you can wet a handkerchief, dry it, again you can wet it, again you can dry it. So this can be reversed again and again. It means that this change can be undone or reversed. But if you dye a white handkerchief with a red color or burn it, will you get the color, will you get the original form of the handkerchief back? No, you won't get it. It means that some changes cannot be reversed, and hence they are called as irreversible changes. Okay, so on that basis we can divide changes into two groups, that is reversible changes and irreversible changes. Now changes like drying of clothes, melting of ice, freezing of water, inflating and deflating a balloon, then making a sugar solution, all these are examples of reversible changes. Whereas changes like making of custard from milk, setting milk into curd, burning of paper, germination of seed, these all are examples of irreversible changes, where you cannot get the original product back. Then the next kind of change is physical and chemical change. Now scientifically, changes are classified into physical and chemical changes. Okay, if we talk about science, scientifically we just have two kind of changes, which is known as physical and chemical change. So now to understand this particular change, we need to have certain activities. Now in your textbook also there are certain activities being given, okay, where you can clearly understand what is the difference between a physical change and a chemical change. Okay, now an activity where you have two things, like a bulb is there and a matchstick is there. Now both the things provides us light, but there is a difference. Light which is emitted out from a bulb is a physical change, whereas when we light a matchstick, a chemical is being playing a role over there, and therefore the heat or light being emitted out is a product of a chemical change. So a change in which no new substance is formed and we can generally get back the original substance is called as physical change. Okay, but however, not all physical change can be reversed, like tearing of paper into pieces, grinding of cinnamon are examples of physical but irreversible changes, where tearing of paper, if you tear it off, okay, you cannot get the original product back, but it's a physical change but irreversible one. You cannot get the original paper back. The shape of the paper has changed after you tear it off. Now even when you see naphthalene, yes, you might have seen naphthalene or camphor, कापूर जिसको हम बोलते हैं, yes, so these substances changes its state from solid to gas directly at room temperature. This is a physical but irreversible change. Okay, change of water vapor, water to vapor, water to ice, these are examples of physical but reversible changes. This can be reversed again and again. Understood? So some physical changes are reversible, some of them are irreversible. And on the other hand, what are chemical changes? A change in which a new substance is formed and we cannot get back the original substance is called as chemical change. Like for example, rusting of iron. This is an example of chemical change, where the iron rod comes in contact with the water vapors and the oxygen present in the atmosphere, and then the rusting process occurs. Yes, you will come to know about what is rusting and how to avoid that in your coming class. Now we'll just see what is the difference between physical and chemical change. Now in the table itself you can see that physical changes are mostly reversible, whereas chemical changes are irreversible or not reversible. Then in physical change, no new substances are formed, whereas in chemical change, one or more new substances are always formed. Then In physical change, the substance retain its chemical property. That means the chemical property does not change, but in chemical change, the new substance formed have different chemical properties from the original substance. So these all are the differences between physical and chemical change. Now we'll talk further about changes involve energy. Now always wherever the change has been taking place, it involves energy into it. So that we'll talk in our coming